The debate of why Lionel Messi does not turn it on for Argentina like he does for Barcelona is settled once and for all. The Argentine captain scores twice as the Albiceleste beat Nigeria despite a suspect defense to top Group F. Bosnia and Herzegovina sign off from their first World Cup on a high. They beat Iran to register their first win in the World Cup and send Iran to the bottom of the group. And coming up tonight, the Le Bleus will go for 3 wins in 3 after setting the tournament ablaze with a rampaging forward line. Ecuador have to somehow beat them to progress. And despite a hammering in their last game, the Swiss start favourites to go through as runners-up with the game against the Minnows, Honduras. Good evening and welcome to the beautiful game here on CNN IBN. Yes, you can see the results are already there lined up. First up, Bosnia beating Iran, denying Iran the chance to perhaps seek a backdoor entry into the round of 16 with a 3-1 convincing win. Bosnia going off the World Cup with their heads held high with this win. On the other hand, the more exciting end-to-end game, Argentina beating Nigeria 3-2, a fantastic encounter, which means that Argentina not only topped the group, but they are also through to the next round as the champions of Group F. Let's take you through that game. The 4-time World Player of the Year, Lionel Messi, showing yet again why he is central to Argentina's campaign despite other stars in the lineup, with a virtuoso display that ensured Argentina beat Nigeria 3-2 to top Group F with 3 wins. Now, the game started with a bang, with Angel Di Maria taking a shot on goal, which ricocheted off the post and straight into the path of Messi, who slammed it into the top of the net. But barely had Argentina finished celebrating, the Nigeria hit back through Ahmed Musa, who curled the ball into the far corner. Argentina were rattled, but they took it in their stride and carried on attacking. The lead was regained ahead of the break with who else but Messi curling a super free kick past Enyama for his 4th goal of the tournament. 2 minutes after the restart, Musa slipped through the left and the defense was caught napping as he equalized yet again. 3 minutes later, Rojo got a World Cup goal to his name after unknowingly perhaps heading the ball home. Messi coming off in the 63rd minute, but Argentina held on for the 3 points. All right. 5 goals, but there are a lot more numbers which we need to show you. Argentina versus Nigeria, how this game was played out. 58 to 42%, that's the superior possession which Argentina enjoyed. 18 shots, 13 on target, and they scored thrice, which obviously tells you of the way the Argentine forward line, inspired by Lionel Messi, was actually taking them on. Let's also take you through the group standings at this point of time for one final time. Yes, remember, Group F is done and dusted with. Argentina picking up all 9 points from the 3 games. Nigeria, in spite of losing this game, are through with 4. That's because the result of the other game, Bosnia beating Iran by 3-1, which means Iran finished with only a solitary point. Possibly the points table not really reflecting the courage and their display in this World Cup tournament. But of course, the 2 most deserving teams in this tournament, Argentina, in this group rather, Argentina and Nigeria going through. Novi Kapadia, welcome back to the show, to the hot seat. Great game there, but the talking point is, of course, Lionel Messi. It shows yet again how much Argentina are over-dependent at this stage on Leo Messi.
Well, the first 4 goals, I mean, that first goal against Bosnia was an own goal. The first 4 goals have all been scored by Messi. So very rarely has that happened in a World Cup where one person has scored all the goals for his country. After that, Royo got his act in. But I think much more pleasing display by Argentina today, and other players. Lavezzi had an outstanding match. Angel Di Maria showed glimpses of his form for Real Madrid. So overall, but still a shaky defense. But overall, in attack, Argentina did. At last, we've seen the beautiful game. After the biting of yesterday, football became the winner. Yeah,
Argentina did have a lot of bite in their attack going forward. Karim, you were expecting much more from Nigeria?
No, I think they did all right overall. Let's not forget that they played one of the contenders, very strong team, especially with the presence of Messi there. I think overall the midfield function much better. The front, especially the left side with Musa was given Argentina defenders a lot of problems and scored 2 beautiful goals. He could be on the score sheet for the hat-trick, but he was unlucky. So overall, I think they did the job. They knew also, I'm sure they was following the results of the other match.
Right.
It was for a long time 3-1. So that's why none of the two teams pushed really hard to get the results better or improve their score in results.
Possibly that's the reason Messi was taken off in the 63rd minute. Great day, great way indeed, Novi, to celebrate a birthday. You come on, inspire your team, and then score those 2 goals. And the fact is that he always posed a threat to the Nigerian defense, although the Nigerian defense was as shaky as the Argentines, but still Messi did his job.
No, yeah, he did his job, and what's more, Sanjeev, is that this was the World Cup in the land of Brazil, where suddenly where were the free kicks? You know, surprisingly, for whatever the reason, it may not necessarily be the football, the great free kicks from Zico to Beckham to Zidane, they were just missing.
Right.
Messi showed why he's the best in the world. I mean, that was a magical free kick. And so it's welcome back, as I said, in many aspects, after the sort of fighting and biting we had in the Italy-Uruguay match.
Right.
We've come back to the beautiful game thanks to Messi and Argentina.
Rather much of a very, very end-to-end game, Karim. Not much of great tactics there from either team. Slightly disappointed. But the one thing which I want you to focus and tell our viewers about is the way in which Nigeria equalized and made it 2-2. There were 6 players near Musa, yet he was allowed to slip in through the inside left. Ezekiel, Gary, and Fernandez were. The distance between them was miles apart. They were kilometers apart. They seemed not in sync with each other. If that is the way they play, they are going to concede goals against every team, even though they have a Messi in their team.
Well, Nigeria came with this formation almost for 4-1-1, and Argentina was playing like this. One of the problems of Argentina is for them to open up. Just coming back to your question, for them to attack, they use 2 attacking midfielders. Both Di Maria and Gago have to move up,
right?
And they push also both Zabaleta and Rojo sometimes, but they are most of the time open, even if they're not up to give that width on the half of Nigeria.
Right.
So that, as you rightly said, if we look here, the space is already there, especially between the side back and the centre back, but also behind the 2 attacking midfielders. So when Nigeria win the ball, there is always that space to be exploited, and this problem, it will happen for most of the games against Argentina.
Time and again.
Yeah, exactly. So even when Zabaleta managed to come back, especially for that goal of Musa, there was Rojo was not inside, and which created a lot of space.
Right.
But of course, credit to him with his skills, he cut inside and scored the goals. But your point about the defense of Argentina, especially the second goal, which the penetration happened from the middle, there was completely open, and there was not enough players, and there wasn't covering each other. So Argentina most of the time is open, rather than very compact defense.
Very compact defense. And as Karim rightly points out, even in the first goal, the way Babatunde actually burst down through the middle of Argentina's half, that will surely be giving Alejandro Sabella sleepless nights, because let's not forget, Messi could score as many goals as possible, but this is a World Cup and they are sure to come up against faster and stronger teams.
Well, to sort of give an excuse for them, play devil's advocate from behalf of Argentina, that they just scored a wondrous goal and maybe they took their foot off the pedal. That's the best time to try and go for an equalizer. The team is psychologically 1-0 up, you've scored in the 3rd minute. It's been a world record.
Right.
Both teams scoring in the first 5 minutes has never happened in the World Cup before.
Right.
And so maybe Argentina just momentarily relaxed.
Right.
But yes, there are gaping spaces. But full credit to Ahmed Musa also. I mean, blistering pace. Here's another find of the World Cup. The sheer speed by which he sort of accelerated and burst through. He nearly got a hat-trick. Zabaleta made a brilliant
To which I could ask you the question, Novi, why does CSK Moscow does not perform well in Europe? Because if they have a striker like Musa, they should be better than what they are.
That will require another program, the whole Russian schedule, the winter, coming off the winter months. But a great find, Ahmed Musa, a player to look forward to for the future.
Of course, Karim, it was fantastic to see the way Messi performed, and the unbelievable free kick. In fact, just a few seconds before he was denied by Enyama. Another brilliant save from the Nigerian keeper, but this time he left the ball sort of literally the last final seconds, and Enyama remained flat-footed. He just could not do anything. He knew he was beaten. But how big is this Messi factor? Because right now, if you see, interestingly, Messi and Neymar both are ahead on the race for the top scorers list with 4 goals each. Yet again, time for a debate to start. But Messi has obviously taken a lot of load off the Argentine shoulder.
Yeah, the difference between Messi and Neymar is Neymar have around him maybe slightly better player all over the park. But Messi is a dilemma for any defenders, for any team, because when he have the ball in his feet, it's very difficult to stop him.
Right.
So if you don't touch him, he will manage to get into scoring position and score goals.
Right.
If you touch him, then you're going to give a free kick, which ultimately he's going to score. Or at least create a chance from that free kick. So this is the problem of Messi that he creates for all defenders. Regarding the goal that he scored from free kick,
right.
Maybe people will feel that the goalkeeper was not in the right position, but the goalkeeper was exactly well positioned, because the goalkeeper put the wall to cover at least half of the goal, and he concentrate on the other half. And most of the players who are not skillful, who doesn't have that quality of free kick, they cannot go over the wall. They have either the ball will hit the wall, or the ball will go on the side where the goalkeeper is. But Messi managed to put it just above the goal, above the wall, and coming down. So it's very, very difficult free kick to stop.
And Novi, to round this off discussion, hoping that there is no miracle, no major upset in the next couple of matches which are coming up in 2 hours from now. So the Argentines go on to meet somebody like a Switzerland, who are again one of the more defensive-minded teams, with a much more pragmatic approach. Surely Messi will need himself to be at his best. Also, he will need much more support from the likes of Higuain and maybe Lavezzi, who was brought on as a replacement late in the first half.
No, I think Lavezzi should start. Lavezzi, I think, gave him excellent support in this match, and he's also got the sudden acceleration. If it's Switzerland, I think Joru and Senderos will have nightmares, because they're a bit flat-footed and slow. I think that shouldn't be a difficult match for Argentina, but as you said, there could be upsets. If they meet France, that will be a blinder of a match. But France should get through as the first team in that group.
Right, so Messi yet again mesmerizes the world at Porto Alegre, virtually carrying Argentina through to the next round as champions of Group F. Meanwhile, in the other game in the same group, Bosnia beat Iran 3-1 in their final game to score their first points of their debut World Cup campaign. Now, the Bosnians were out of contention for a spot in the round of 16, having lost their first 2 matches. But they would have been eager to show some quality before bowing out, and they did just that. Striker Edin Dzeko putting his side ahead in the first half. Iran needed a win at the very least to stand any chance of progressing, but their hopes were dented further as Miralem Pjanic made it 2-0 to Bosnia. Now, Reza Ghushanejad pulled one back for the Iranians towards the end, but there would be no miraculous comeback for them. Avija Varsajic scoring barely a minute later to seal the game. 3-1 to the Bosnians, who finish third in the group and exit with their heads held high. All right, time for a break on this show, but when we come back, remember, we will touch on the other games tonight, specifically at the 1998 champs, France. welcome back. You're still with the beautiful game now. French football's renaissance continues tonight as the Les Bleus seek to extend their winning form when they take on Ecuador in their final Group E game at the Maracana in Rio later tonight. Having already made it to the knockout stages after overpowering Honduras and then destroying the Swiss, Didier Deschamps' men will be eager to keep their clean slate, even as the manager might be tempted to make a few changes to the team. Karim Benzema, who has led from the front with 3 strikes, could be rested, allowing Deschamps the liberty to either play QPR striker Loic Remy or play Giroud maybe as the lone striker, with Griezmann and Valbuena backing him up. Ecuador, though, must win and also hope the Swiss do not beat Honduras by a big margin if they are to qualify. Well, very little time left to preview this game, but Novi, of course, that disappointment of the last 12 years for French football surely seems to have been wiped away to a great extent, going by their devastating performance in the first 2 games. A lot is expected from this team now.
Yes, I think the most important factor is that now there are no more players left who won the 1998 World Cup and Euro 2000. So, you know, that hangover of the past has gone. These are all young players eager to make a mark in history, the desire to play, good team spirit, good physical fitness, and Deschamps may not be the most astute of coaches, but he's kept harmony in the squad, and I think that's how it's working.
That's how it is working. And of course, there's another game, the Group A game, which has the Swiss fighting against Honduras. But Karim, staying on with the French game, do you perceive maybe Deschamps will be, he could maybe rest Benzema or maybe a couple of other important players for the next round and try a few of the players on the bench, the reserves?
Possibilities there because on the camp he have the squad available. He discussed with his staff and with the medical staff especially. So if the players are feeling good, are feeling all right, I think he will put the strong team. But those players who have small niggles or have some side of fatigue as well,
right,
he may rest them to keep them, to make sure that they will be available in the next match.
On the other hand, Novi, if Karim Benzema plays, and I'm sure Karim will be back here tomorrow morning to talk about the other Karim Benzema, I'm sure he will be taking a lot of shots at goal because Neymar and Messi are leading the charts right now with 4. Benzema is on 3. I'm sure he is good enough to do it tonight only.
Well, he should have been on 5. The missed penalty and the goal which he scored, which the referee blew the whistle a couple of seconds earlier. If he plays, I'm sure that will be his personal target to overtake both Neymar and Messi in the race for the Golden Boot. An important thing, it seems this time, that the winner of the Golden Boot since the 70s has always been somebody with 5 or 6 goals.
Right.
This time it seems they are going, it's like the throwback to the 50s. Maybe somebody could enter double figures and win the Golden Boot.
Maybe, surely that will be an exciting time for world football. But Karim, final thoughts on this game, France versus Ecuador. France looking at a possible round of 16 game with Nigeria. What is the build-up going to be like?
Well, I'm sure they start already doing their homework, both teams. From next round on, it's advantage definitely France, but you cannot write off Nigeria. The way I think they took confidence from the way they played today against Argentina. Though Argentina took Messi out, and you had seen that Messi without Argentina and with Argentina is a big difference between the team. And I'm sure they will be looking forward to exploit the confidence. And this match today for Nigeria was like a good preparation match because Argentina play a 4-3-3 slightly similar like the French 4-3-3.
Well, who knows, if there is a change in fortunes, we might as well even have a game between Argentina and France, but that looks impossible to say the least at this point of time. Well, that's it on the show, but before we leave, here's time to bring in your conversation, how you are joining us here on CNN IBN through Twitter. Now, the first one coming in from Furtive Glances saying, Bosnia-Herzegovina, a war-ravaged country, united by the love of the beautiful game, they sure entertained us in their first World Cup. Absolutely. This next one, only Prathamesh says, love him or hate him, but you just cannot ignore him. Messi, you are an absolute legend, man. I wonder who hates Messi. I'm sure there is none. Gabbar Singh saying, whenever I see a Nigerian player throwing in the ball, it seems he's gonna basket a 3-pointer into the goal. And the final one coming in from Logon Aniket saying, even though Argentina are through, they surely need to work a lot on their defense. That's exactly what Karim Ben Sharifa has been talking about, harping about over the days. And then finally, the tweet of the day. This is a brilliant one. Akash Teka 001 saying, Leo Messi carrying Argentina, Neymar carrying Brazil, British Airways carrying England. I wonder whether they actually got their reservations on time by their performance. Remember, you can join us here in the conversation. All you got to do is tweet to us at IBN Live with the hashtag World Cup. Yes, WORLDSCUP. And remember, you can convey all your thoughts about particular games, players, events in the World Cup. And of course, your questions to both our gentlemen guests here, Novi and Karim, who will be more than eager to answer them. On that note, Novi and Karim, thank you very much for joining us. That does it here on the show. We'll be back tomorrow morning at 7 to talk about France and, of course, Argentina once again. Till then, goodbye.